In this video, I'm excited to be checking out a mini slider for two reasons. Number one, I've never had one and I've never owned one. I've never featured one on this channel. And number two, Smarta, the manufacturer of this particular mini slider, sent me two of them, which means I am going to be giving away this brand new, unused, unopened slider, which is pretty awesome. So details on how you can win will be at the end of this video, so stay tuned. Let's jump into the review. This is the Smarta SliderMini 2, and as the name suggests, this is the second version of a mini slider. It comes in a white box that feels very premium. Everything is well laid out. The user manual is a simple one sheet of paper. Beyond the slider itself, you get a USB Type-C charge cable and 3 shutter release cables for various camera models. In addition to that, I got a separate brown package that has a little adapter for the top of the slider, so you can mount your camera directly to the slider without having to use a tripod head. The SliderMini 2 has a unibody design and it's pretty simple. It's made out of all aluminum or some sort of metal. It's even coated with some special antioxidant paint that is allegedly more durable than other paint, which is a good thing because I think a lot of people would travel with a mini slider such as this one. It's super compact. It is also lightweight. It comes in at 570 grams, which is next to nothing. On the top, you have the base plate that moves side to side. It is branded Smarta. Around the bottom, there are 4 little pads that act as feet, so you can place this on a table or on the ground. And there is a tripod mount in the middle if you want to use the slider on a tripod. Around one side there is nothing. Around the other side there is a button and a couple of LED lights to indicate the battery level with this slider. There is a built-in battery that lasts up to 52 hours in continuous use. As far as moving side to side, you can get up to 14 hours of sliding, which is really impressive. Beyond that, to charge this thing fully only takes an hour and a half, and if you want to use it while charging it via USB-C, you can do so. So you can potentially run this thing all day long with a USB cable plugged into it. Around the front of this slider, you'll see the USB-C port as well as the mini jack that is used to connect to other cameras so that you can control shutter. The load capacity of this slider in vertical orientation, so if you're moving up and down with a camera, is 2.76 pounds. Horizontally, it is 33 pounds. I didn't use anywhere near 33 pounds of equipment on this, but it is nice to know that the motors on this thing are quite durable. In fact, I just used my A6100 with the 16-55 lens on it. For the majority of these sample shots, here is what this thing can do. Ready, set, go. So for those samples, this was my setup. A6100, the 16-55G lens, f2.8, and I have a Smarta little, I guess you call this a some sort of tripod head alternative, because you can kind of elevate your camera and then point it down. Wasn't the biggest fan of this, just because you need to have a little Allen key around with you at all times to tighten this down. And it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to balance. So I'm not really going to talk much about it. I think it's an accessory to this slider, and I think that most people will be better off with just using a tripod head if you have one available. This slider performs well. I was impressed by it. It is super smooth left to right, and it gets especially smooth as you slow down the speed. Now, there are two ways to control this thing, which I like. Number one is you can just use the button on the side. In fact, if you hold it down, it turns on, and then 2 taps on the button will move the slider to the left, and 3 taps will move the slider to the right. And as the mic is probably picking up, you can see that there is some noise with the motor. It's not silent. But in most cases, if you are using a slider such as this one, you're probably not going to be recording with onboard audio. I would recommend recording externally or using some sort of shotgun or off-camera mic if you are planning on using something like this. The second way of controlling this slider is through the Smarta Go app, which automatically connects through Bluetooth to the slider, and it shows you a couple of key features. Number one is the speed that the slider is moving at. You can move this by toggling it up or down, and what's cool is it'll show you right below the percentage how long the entire move will take. So for example, at 1%, it's going to take about 20 minutes for this slider to move completely all the way from the left to the right. If you click on the upper right hand corner, there are a couple of cool modes that are built into the app. The first is curve mode, which means you can adjust the speed at which this slider moves. The second option under that menu is time-lapse mode, and there are 10 built-in time-lapse modes with this little slider. Now those 3 cables that I mentioned were in the box. That's where those come in, because you take this cable, you plug it into the side of your A6000 or A6100 or whatever it is that you're using. You plug the other end into this slider. In this case, it's on the front. And now your slider can control the shutter button on your camera. So this is super duper convenient, as you could imagine, for time lapses. You don't have to sit there, or you don't have to mess with the settings on the camera to have it shoot at interval levels. You can set it up all through the app. And what's great about this part of the app is it shows you how many photos are going to be taken, how long it's going to take, and at what interval they're going to be taken. And once you are ready, you just hit that green button at the bottom, and that is it. The rest of the process is automatic, and that's why this thing is so smart. I mean, I could just set this up, and I know that the timer is telling me in 59 minutes I'm going to have a great time lapse of my YouTube studio room. Pretty cool. The third option in that menu is a stop motion mode, which you can use to create some stop motion animations. And the last mode is just a loop mode. So for example, if you are recording an interview and you just want this slider to move side to side gradually, you can set that up through the app and it will do so. So it's pretty awesome to have those built-in features on the app. The app in general is very easy to navigate and very simple to use, so a big thumbs up in that regard. Really, the only negative I have with this slider is sometimes it is difficult to balance a front-heavy lens on top because it is pretty narrow and compact. Now, they could have solved this by having some sort of extension arms or something like that to give it a slightly wider footprint, but that would have definitely increased the overall bulk and size of it. So when using heavier lenses, you just have to remain mindful of that and do your best at balancing the camera and the lens on top of this little slider. So all in all, this slider is a very useful accessory. Now, it's not for everyone. I don't think this could ever take the place of using a gimbal for video work where you're walking around, but it does add a certain cinematic effect to some shots. In particular, if you're taking product photography or product video, like if you're doing some sort of unboxing reviews on YouTube, or if you're doing like a cooking channel on YouTube, this could be very useful. In fact, just this morning, I was helping my wife film a video for her channel, and she was recording some ingredients for coffee, and I used this little slider to get all of those ingredients for her. So very convenient tool, and again, very easy to use because I didn't have to whip out my phone. I literally just put it on the table, hit the button twice, and then it was off doing its thing. So thank you to Smarta for sending out this thing for review and sending me the other one. If you guys are interested in buying your own, as always, I'll have links down below. I believe that there is a coupon code, and you, with the current promotion going on, you could be getting up to 35 bucks off with this thing. So definitely check it out. Pricing and discounts are going to be linked down below. Now let's get to the great part of this video where I get to give away this awesome slider. And now the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to pick a random comment down in the comments of this video, and the winner will be announced in 5 days. So 5 days from the date of this video, I'll make a separate little post, community post, to announce it. So you have to be subscribed in order for you to be notified of the winner. So if you are not subscribed, then get subscribed, and then just post a random comment down below, or post what your thoughts are on this little slider, or better yet, post what you would use this little slider for down in the comments. So definitely do that now. I'm excited to give this thing away because I think whoever wins this will be thoroughly impressed, as I have been over the last couple of weeks. And if you don't end up winning, you can still use the link down below to buy your own. So check that out. It's open to everyone in the US and really worldwide. I'll figure out a way to ship it to wherever you are. However, if you have import fees or duties in your country, that will be your responsibility. So just FYI, be aware. Thank you guys so much for all of your likes, all of your comments, and your support. Stay tuned for more. Again, subscribe, and stay tuned for the winner, again, 5 days from today. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.